Morning. So I slept really cold. If I was in my hammock, I would have been, toasty. But I made the decision. I got here later. Well, not too late. I could have set up a hammock, but I wanted to be quick in the morning and get out of here. Fresh Grounds had gave me some hand warmers, and in the middle of the night I went to look for them and they were gone. They must have fallen out of my pocket somewhere, which really sucks. I tend to lose some stuff in out of my pockets. It is what it is. It's just before sunrise, and I'm heading out. My shoes were frozen. A lot of stuff is frozen. My water's not frozen. My Sawyer's not frozen because I slept with all that stuff. So I'll actually be hiking with my water inside of my jacket to keep it from freezing. So I've got 2 liters of water. Snacks in my pocket so they're not frozen. Everything in my pockets so they don't freeze. I'm going to stick my hands in my armpits and warm them up because I've been using them, to get ready. And then I'm going to head out. So, the goal is definitely to do the 24 or 25 to town today. I don't know what that's going to look like. There was some dampness on my quilts, and I think it was from my socks. My socks were soaked, and as usual, they dry throughout the night, but I think some of that moisture went into the bottom of my quilts. Also, there was snow blowing in onto my quilt, so that's the other thing. I didn't take time to go clean up or do anything. It's way too cold. Pulling my pants down and putting a wet wipe over everything just doesn't sound like a good idea. So I'm really gonna push for town. Still in a good mood. It's an adventure, right? And I'm safe. I might have been miserable, but I'm safe. I'm not gonna go into hypothermia. So today's game is to just monitor how I'm feeling. I'm wearing everything right now because it's in the 20s. I'm gonna try to go slower. Well, I'm gonna try my best not to sweat. That's the goal. I'm gonna try not to sweat. So, all right. So while we're out here, a couple things I want to talk about. One, I've experienced on my trip when I was doing the section up near my place, I've experienced temperatures colder than this. So I'm prepared. Being cold last night, it was the decision I made. I didn't think I'd get that cold because so far sleeping with a pad and my quilt has been comfortable. But last night I met the limits of that, which I'm gonna say is probably somewhere in the mid-20s. I really wish I brought my Govee. It's nice to have that information. Like right now I'm thinking, well, it doesn't feel like it's freezing. Like I don't want my water to freeze. So I'll be monitoring that. Other than that, if push comes to shove, I can hunker down somewhere. I still have food. My hammock is warm. I can take that thing, especially putting a pad in it, I could take it below 20. So as far as my safety, I'm okay. It's up to me to make smart decisions in this situation. One of the reasons I pushed yesterday was I was afraid that with the freezing temperatures that there would be a lot of ice. And right now it's just more snow, which is pretty cool. Also, whoever maintains this section, I love you with all my heart. Like, there's so many sections so far from Georgia up to here where, because I want to make sure I'm always on path. I don't want to, incur bonus miles. So I'm constantly whipping out my app to make sure where I'm at. This section, by the time I even wonder, I usually see another blaze, and sometimes I can see a couple blazes in a row in line of sight. And today, with the snow, it's especially helpful. I can see the path. I know there's parts where it's going to be really hard because there was some yesterday through the pine forest. But man, those white blazes were there, like they weren't in a lot of the other sections below me. So I am super grateful for that. I'll still be taking my phone out more than I normally would, because again, I don't want to waste time out here. I don't want to waste energy. I want to be on track. So it's a couple thoughts I've been having. Is this the stupidest thing I've ever done? No, it's not. I've done way stupider. In fact, I would argue that this isn't even stupid. This was a calculated risk, and I am safe. And I'm not saying accidents can't happen. This is an adventure, and risk is inherent in all adventure. Isn't that right, Pooh Bear? Risk is inherent in all adventure. And we added another one, sacrifice. Sacrifice is often a part of adventure too. So, not like human sacrifices, obviously, not again. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep rocking. It's actually kind of fun now that I'm warm and moving. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my wits about me, be very mindful of where I'm stepping, and get to where I'm going, wherever that ends up being today. I'm recording this several days after the day. There's 7 people that I know of that were out there during that time. There was 3 people that hiked up to Roan High Knob Shelter, which is the highest shelter on the Appalachian Trail, and therefore it gets really cold. It's not insulated, but it does have 4 walls, so it at least protects you from the wind. And I don't remember where they left from or how far that day was for them, but it was Little Engine, Sam, aka Frodo, aka 22 and Fit, and Leffy. Chris, Logan, and Fortune left from a spot that was 4 miles before me, so they had a 29-mile day. So Leffy and Sam and Little Engine, they had to hike out of there the next day, which I think was still probably a really hard day. But definitely doing, close to 25 miles that day or more for others was a bear. There was a section there in the middle where I didn't do a lot of filming, and that's, Roan High Knob. I didn't capture the rivers of ice, those trails that turn into creeks when it's raining. Those trails turned into ice, both going up and down Roan Mountain. When I got to Roan Mountain to take a lunch and realized how hard it was to warm up, I thought that any option to stay out in that weather was far riskier than pushing through and just trying to get out of there and get somewhere warm. There was a moment where, for lack of a better term, I panicked a little bit, when I realized staying out wasn't a good option. I started quicking my step, and I'm trying to go down these ice rivers, and I slipped and I fell on my elbow. Luckily I didn't hurt it, but that was one of the things about that I was doing at the moment. I was weighing the risk, right? One risk, staying out and really testing what how warm my stuff was able to keep me. I thought that hypothermia was an option, because what I now know is that the temperatures up on those mountains was down around 10, maybe even less than that at times. So, I don't believe that my gear would have worked for that. Worst case scenario, hypothermia. Best case scenario, an absolutely miserable night. So I made the decision to plow forward. Once I, slipped and kind of caught myself and just took the time to breathe and, say, just go, just do the thing. It got better. And it was actually, it was a very special experience hiking through all that. A little while after that is when I ran into Chris, and it was great to have somebody else out there with me. So there's that. The winds were so strong going up Hump Mountain that they almost knocked me over. And so, the times where we were fighting the wind going uphill really made it that much more difficult. So that was a very intense day. It was a very intense day, and I'm glad I got through it. I'm glad I got through it safe, and I think that everybody who is out there deserves recognition. So I'm going to try to post a link. Fortune has a YouTube channel, a really good YouTube channel, and I'm going to post a link to the video that he did about this, and also he did an article for the Trek.co, which was amazing for me to read and get somebody else's perspective on that day. I wish I did a better job of documenting some of the other things, like the rivers of ice and stuff like that. But I think other than the stuff around Roan High Knob, I think I got a lot of it. Again, wonderful day, intense day, and definitely a learning opportunity.